Coca-Cola has no, has no nutritionally beneficial components. Ronaldo's Coca-Cola Euro snub has wiped billions off the share value of the sugary drink company's stock. This makes me wonder, should Coca-Cola even be involved with sporting events? And is financial reality and commercial reality as stable as we think it is? Or could we all just rearrange it into nothingness simply by being really bloody good at football and rejecting Coke? It's good that Ronaldo knows exactly where the edge of frame is, isn't it? His ability with geometry, developed from years of brilliant free kicks and dead ball situations, still applies when he's working out the size of a frame. That lens looks like it's about here, okay. Coke's out of the way, you're not getting any free promo from me. It's a brilliant stroke of idealism with what's going on with Osaka. It's like a time where we're looking at the role of sport and the way that sport functions and sports relationships with commerce. Now, sports relationships with commerce, you could argue, look at what's behind him. Qatar, Vivo, Heineken, Volkswagen, TikTok, that's the Chinese government, Volkswagen, we all know who contributed to starting that little deal up. Qatar, you wouldn't have to look too far at workers' rights there. Heineken, I mean, I've not done the research, but I mean, it's booze. So, you know, brands necessarily cause problems because if you think about it, fundamentally what commercialism does, or what branding in particular does, is associates a project or product with a set of traits, notions and ideals that are not connected with it. And sometimes, as in the case of Coca-Cola, which is associated with vigour, virility, joy, youth, healthiness and abundance, it's actually antithetical to those values. You could argue, in fact, that Coca-Cola is bad for you. In fact, it says, yeah, Coca-Cola has no, has no nutritionally beneficial components. You must have some nutritionally beneficial components. There are none. There are no nutrition. So after you've had it, have you had any nutrition? You've had none. You've had nothing at all. I mean, you've had raw energy. You could have just got sugar, put it under your eyelid and let it distribute through your tear ducts into your body. You'd have done yourself as good a job. Drinking it could lead to an increased risk of lung disease, oh my God, kidney decline, cell damage, asthma and mental health problems. It's nothing like the real thing, baby. Like, the reason you have to associate it with sport is to counterbalance the true fact that it's not very bloody good for you. That's what we're dealing with here. I mean, it seems to me that in a rational world where you're connected to reality, you wouldn't have a drink that does that to your body. You'd test it, you go, hang on a minute, turns out Coca-Cola could lead to lung damage, kidney damage, respiratory conditions. Should we stop making it? Well, yeah, I see your scientific survey, but I offer you billions of pounds of profit. And guess who wins again? Now, look, no one's saying that there's anything wrong with turning a little bit of profit for labour done. But when you live fundamentally at odds with reality, it kind of has to be called out, doesn't it? The second component of this that's interesting, of course, is the impact of Ronaldo's brilliant removal of Coca-Cola from a frame.
Coca-Cola.
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Queria dar as boas-vindas à conferência.
It's hard not to marvel at the sheer power of Ronaldo, a man who can simply say, Coca-Cola, pa, agua, si, and that's it. I suppose another thing that's interesting is that Ronaldo's football skills are transferable to economics. After he did that, the share price dropped from $56.10 to $55.22. That meant the market value of Coke went from 242 billion to 238 billion, a drop of 4 billion. Now that may not seem much. It is much though, isn't it? And it also shows you that Coke's value is conceptual. The value is imaginary. Coke is valuable if we, or more importantly, if Ronaldo says it is. Obviously, Coca-Cola paid money to have those bottles situated there. They didn't go for the ones on the background like Vivo and all these other dudes. They went for have it up the front so we see the athletes next to it, because we're such simple, little, lovely primates that if we see Ronaldo sat next to that Coca-Cola, something in us will go, Ronaldo's near the Coca-Cola. Maybe I'm going to get me some of that Ronaldo cola. Like, we can't separate it. We can't, in our minds, go, no, that's commercial. What is the point in having a sporting tournament that merely acts as a trestle table upon which products that are in one way or another not good for you are placed? People, of course, that are for free market capitalism say, no. What it does is the products find their market. It's the ingenuity of these entrepreneurs and pioneers presents these products, and if people want them, then they sell. But that's not the reality, is it? What seems to happen more is we got the software, is it the software or the hardware of primates, and we're dealing with complex information. We don't have the time to correctly discern. We're living in this sort of fast-paced world, and Coca-Cola is a peculiar product because it's sort of, in a sense, quite passé when we're in this Silicon Valley, big tech, Neuralink world where things might get embedded in our bloody consciousness. Good old-fashioned Coca-Cola, it's like something from a bygone era. But the simple fact remains that Coca-Cola is being granted a set of attributes through marketing that do not bear any relationship to reality. So whilst this might seem like a small and insignificant moment, it's significant in so much as Ronaldo in a single moment has affected a commercial enterprise by acknowledging the reality through gesture that Coca-Cola ain't good for you and shouldn't be involved in the sponsorship of a sporting event. And in fact, take it a little further. Don't you think that all products should be marketed through utility? Coca-Cola is a sugary drink. It tastes, let's face it, absolutely delicious, but it's really bad for your teeth. It's not all good for you. Research suggests it's bad for your lungs. There's no point in doing it. You'd be a lot better off if you never drank it at all. 80 pence a bottle. You know, that's what an advert for Coca-Cola should sound like. Anything beyond that is a lie, is a hypnosis, is a manipulation of you as a consumer, a term that I fundamentally object to. Coca-Cola, one of the official sponsors of Euro 2020, which shows you that Euro 2020, their hands ain't clean either, because why would you accept money from Coca-Cola? Because it's a lot of money, that's why. But so then all of the stuff they're saying about community, nations coming together, sport, health, oneness, none of that means anything when it comes to crunch time. A Euro spokesperson said players are offered water alongside Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar on arrival at our press conferences. How extraordinary. The press conference, by the way, of course, is the interface between the entity of the tournament and us, the public. This is where we get interpreted for us what the meaning of the event is. Now, the meaning of the event might be for you a love of football, a love of community, a love of competition, the excitement of watching these tournaments unfold, seeing players from your clubs playing different national teams, we're getting together behind, you know, your nation as one, and the sense of community that can endow. World Cups and European tournaments can be incredibly exciting, brilliant festivals that make us all feel together and connected. But primarily, they are a tool for commerce. If you take out the commercial partners, the events won't go ahead. If the athletes won't participate with the agenda of the commercial partners, then they experience problems, as we saw last week. So look at the information that's being presented to you, but take heart from the fact that if Ronaldo says Coca-Cola ain't valuable, Coca-Cola stops becoming valuable. Ronaldo might be more powerful than any of us as individuals because of his genius as a footballer, but he is not more powerful than whole communities. If whole communities say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be seen as a consumer. I don't want my life to be a vessel for commerce, my head to be full of concepts that are given to me simply because it's convenient for dominant members of cultural structures, then you can choose to bow out. You can disavow it. You can disconnect. You can cut off. Coca-Cola becomes worthless if you decide that it is. More than that, nation states, mortgage agreements, all of these things can be changed. They're all held in place with somewhat fragile structures of faith and enforcement. It's only valuable because they tell you it is and you don't deny it. Once you stop cooperating and stop participating, the value begins to dissipate. Reality, therefore, comes through and is constructed by our imagination and our consensus. We can therefore imagine and consent to entirely different realities. Yes, we can keep the football tournaments, and we can extract, if we want, the commercial component. We can create different types of politics. All of these things are possible. The fragility of the membrane of reality can easily be punctured and exposed just by a single gesture from someone who is extremely good at doing step overs, brilliant at free kicks, and evidently knows exactly where the edge of the frame is. Ugh, water, it's disgusting stuff. No, oh wait, there. If you like that video, please like and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. Why not get a dinging bell right in your brain every time I feel like expressing a feeling? If you've got any comments, hit us up with your comments. Tell us what you thought of this video. Join us in community. Sign up to Russell Brand. Go over russellbrand.com and sign up to our mailing list. I can tell you about the live shows I'm doing, my exciting new streaming show I'd love you to watch if you're into it, and you can learn more about my podcast and all sorts of things, and just the kind of community projects I'm involved with, some of which do have a commercial component, but by God, there's got to be more to life than that, hasn't there? Thank you.